Yeah, yeah. So we're having Mr. Chirag Puri. He is a great graphic designer. After having 5 years of experience in the graphic designing industry and working with numerous brands and making thousands of fantastic graphic designs, man, I love your designs. He's here for conducting this session with us. And apart from his graphic designing fame, I personally know him as a great senior and the head boy from our school. So, Mr. Chirag Puri, would you like to say something?
Okay,
You're not audible.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're audible. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for this lovely introduction, Shivam. I have been a fan of your hosting since a long, long time. Since schooling, I admire your hosting skills. I'll rather say this. And thank you for this lovely opportunity. I like to thank Enactus Jemtec, who has given me this amazing opportunity so that I can conduct this session and impart my knowledge. I'll rather say that I'll share my knowledge to everyone, to all the lovely people who has connected via Google Meet. And let's get started. I'm pretty much excited about this session.
Yeah, sure. And what's the best way to start this year with with the gift of knowledge? But before moving further to the main session, I would like to make some introductions for our audience right here. Today we are having with us Vaishnavi Singh, the respected president of Enactus Jemtec. Vaishnavi, would you like to say some words?
Yes, surely. Thank you so much, Shivam, first of all, and thank you so much for joining in. I think it's our mere privilege to have you with us right now and to learn some very great from your very great experiences and skills. And I think I would like to first congratulate Shivam for his great efforts in coordinating with you. And thank you for taking out time. And I am very happy to host all of you who have joined all the members. And thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Vaishnavi. And moving further, we have with us today the Vice President of Enactus Gemtech, Mr. Abhay Chopra. Abhay, would you like to say something? Yeah, thank you, Abhay. And Chirag bhai, it won't be I won't miss this chance to say that Abhay himself is a graphic designer, and I guess he is the one who who designs for for right now. He is the one who designs the brilliant graphic designs for Enactus Jemtec. So kudos to you, Abhay. And moving further, we have with us Aditya Chatterjee. He is the director of projects and technical operations. So Aditya, would you like to say some words?
Hi Shivam. I welcome Mr. Chirag Puri for giving us his valuable time for all of us to learn something new. Yeah, I will not take much time. Everyone has said their vote of thanks, so I think we should continue with the session Mr. Chirag Puri has trained for himself for. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so I guess without any further ado, and we are keeping everyone waiting. So, Mr. Chirag, the stage is over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for this lovely introduction. Shivam, I need to connect my screen, so I'll be presenting my screen to all of you guys. Let me just see once.
Sure.
Okay, I really hope that you all guys can see my screen now. Can you see the screen? Hello, namaste to everyone. My name is Chirag Puri. I think it will be better if I switch off my camera right now because that is not much needed. Okay, hello and namaste to everyone. My name is Chirag Puri, and I'm a professional graphic designer and the founder of a brand named Logosaylove. I love to play with design elements and create something new that has some value. I work with different brands, and basically what I do is I make them grow. The brand, I make the brands grow by the usage of graphic designing and the graphic elements. So let's just get into the topic. The topic is what the basics of graphic designing. Our first slide is what is graphic designing and why graphic designing is important. I googled this term graphic designing, and the first thing that came up to on my screen was the definition of graphic designing that Wikipedia says. Graphic designing is the process of visual communication throughout the usage of typography, photography, iconography, and illustration. The field is considered as a subset of visual communication and communication design, but sometimes the term graphic designing is used synonymously. What does that mean? We'll be understanding all of the topics in the later term. As Shivam told me that this is a 2 hour session, so I'll be conducting 1 hour or the 50% of the first half of the session as the theoretical part, and then we will be moving ahead to the practical part where we will be designing a poster that is a basic that will be a basic poster, and I have decided that I'll be designing a poster of this session. So what actually is graphic designing? According to me, what I feel or what I suggest should be the correct definition of graphic designing is graphic designing is the act of solving problems through visual elements assembled together. And yes, I'm really happy to say this that we are problem solvers. And by problem solvers, what do I mean is that, for example, a client comes to me and he says that I have a particular problem and he needs his problem to be addressed and solved. For example, this is our client. He's sad, and he comes to me. He has a problem that he needs to get some designs, some information to be portrayed for his customer. He is a restaurant owner, let's say. So what I'll be doing is I'll be using my skills of graphic designing, and I'll be solving his problem through visual communication. We'll be understanding much of it in the later terms. Let's go ahead. So what problems do people have? People have communication problems. Yes, people do not know how to communicate to their clients first, and the second thing I'll be saying is that people don't know how to portray their information. That is also a part of communication problem, I guess. So people don't know how to communicate with their audiences, and there is when they need us, graphic designers. We help them solve their problems through visual elements. Before we proceed ahead, let me just show you some of my work samples that I have done for my previous clients. Just for instance, there's a client of mine who wanted to say Merry Christmas to all of his customers. He is an F&B client. F&B stands for food and beverages, and he's a restaurant chain owner. So what I did is I took two of his best-selling dishes and I added a Christmas theme all around, and I wrote Merry Christmas and I have an amazing New Year with the correct type of font that will look good. So this way, I tried to portray the correct communication of wishing Merry Christmas to his customers, and that is how his problem was solved. Let us go ahead, proceed ahead. Okay, so there are two softwares that we will be talking about today. One is Adobe Photoshop and another one is Adobe Illustrator. What is the difference between them and how do these softwares work and what is the difference between them? I'll be telling you all right in one go. Let us just see what are these softwares used for. First of all, we have Adobe Photoshop and then we have Adobe Illustrator. Both of the brands are a part of a company known as Adobe, that is a US-based company. You must be knowing of the names of these two brands. They are the big, or I'll say they are the big shots of the designing industry, along with CorelDRAW. People use CorelDRAW very often, but I feel that I am very much comfortable using these two softwares. It's all up to you. You can use Photoshop or you can use Illustrator or whichever software, whichever raster based or vector based software you can use. There is one more software known as Corel Draw. You need not need to have knowledge of each and every software. That is not much required. Only the point that is required is to have skills to be able to develop a good communication design. That is the only thing that is required to be a good designer. So let us get into Photoshop. What is Photoshop? Photoshop is a raster-based photo editing software, and Illustrator is a vector-based graphic editing tool. What is the difference between raster and vector? Let me just show you. For example, we have a photo of this graphic where I have put, yes, there we go. I have put which of these makes you go wow, spring rolls versus the kebabs. If you zoom in, you will see that the text is very much pixelated. You getting it? I hope everyone must be able to see this thing, that this text is very much pixelated. Or even if I open a photo of, let's say, any photo I'll be putting up. Let's say I take a photograph of this lovely dish. If I zoom in, you will see as I zoom in closer, it start to pixelate, it start to get blur. So these small dots are known as pixels, I'll rather say, and this type of photo improve the pixelation of this photograph, because the bigger the photo is, the more it will be clearer, number one. And number two, the small and vice versa, definitely. And number two, all the pictures are raster in nature. Let me just take you with one more example. For example, we have this photo of another lovely dish. Oh, I love Shahi Paneer. If we zoom in, you will see, as we zoom in, as we go deep into it, you will see many small dots or small blocks. They are known as pixels. So anything which is a raster photo will definitely pixelate when you zoom in. So when designing for big pamphlets, big boards, I'll rather say, big posters, you need to find those pics which do not pixelate much, because pictures are always raster in nature. You need to find bigger pictures so that they do not pixelate when printed on a bigger canvas. On the other side, what is a vector? Vector is something which does not get pixelated. For example, let me show you something. I have this artwork of, let me just see. Yes, this is a lovely artwork I made back in February 2020. If you zoom in, like if we zoom into the picture of Lord Shiva, as we zoom in, you will see that there is no pixelation on the outer side, but on the inner side, that is the photograph. That is a photograph of a galaxy or of a star based something. I don't know. If you zoom in, the neck of Lord Shiva or the outline of this part, you will see that this is not pixelated. So that is a difference between something raster and something vector. We will be studying everything in this session, that how to balance between those terms, raster and vector, in the later practical session. Photoshop is majorly used for photo manipulation, where you need to combine multiple things and you do not want things to look fake. For example, I have something to show. This is a sample of photo manipulation. Yes, this one. This is a sample of photo manipulation. Look how the glasses of these two beautiful sheikhs have been put on a sand pile, and slippers have been made on the side, and you can see some heart emojis popping up, making it feel like it is a proper photograph. In fact, we know that it is not a photograph. You cannot have this type of atmosphere. We cannot create that. Number one. So this is done in Photoshop where you can combine multiple pictures, and that combination is known as a photo manipulation. Third point, Photoshop contains features like cropping, editing, resizing, color correction, etc., which is all done by photographers, and where you need to manipulate the colors of the particular layers or the backgrounds. For example, in this photograph, I had to put a patch of cloud over here. For that, I needed to remove the shadow on the other side, and so on. There are multiple things that you can do on Photoshop. Photoshop is used by photographers for high quality productions and poster designing. We will be discussing about poster designing part in the later section of the webinar. And what we cannot do is we cannot use to make vector logos and artwork. Vector thing is never done in Photoshop. It is always advised to work the vector part on Illustrator, Adobe Illustrator. As I told you, Photoshop is a raster-based photo editing software, and Illustrator is a vector-based graphic editing tool. Yeah. So as I told you, let us go to the Illustrator section. Illustrator is majorly used to create highly scalable vector arts. As I told you, let me just show you once again. If we zoom in into any type of artwork, let me show you my artwork. This is one of the artwork that I made around a couple of months ago. I took part in a competition. Yes. If you zoom in into this uh, Fasiga Panda, you will see it is not pixelating. It is not getting affected by any pixelation. You cannot see any blocks. But if you zoom into the photograph of this, which is raster in nature, you will see it will get starting pixelating as I zoom in. See, you can see the pixelation in here. So that is the difference between Photoshop and Illustrator. And this type of artwork, when I opened in Illustrator, this was a highly scalable vector artwork. Third point, Illustrator contains features like paths, objects, pathfinder, layers. We will be discussing about possibly in some later session, because today I'll be discussing about Photoshop only, that are used to edit scalable vector arts. And Illustrator used for logo designing, illustration, diagrams, and so on. It cannot be used to edit or manipulate photo pixels. As I told you, the image of the shakes that I showed you, that cannot be made in Illustrator. That can be made in Illustrator, but that won't look good at all. For to be to save your time, I rather say you have to use Photoshop, and to get a good product, to get a good productive output, you need to use Photoshop. Okay, so we will be discussing about now the fundamentals of graphic designing. I have read many books and many things uh, in previous books and on articles very much, but I don't think I can go ahead with many of them. So I have just took five of them: color contrast, fonts, white space, alignment, and hierarchy. That are the basic fundamentals of graphic designing. Also, I'd like to tell you one thing, that both of these softwares that I told you are almost similar in nature. So it is not particularly needed that if you are good at Photoshop, you cannot design, or you are good at Photoshop, Illustrator, you can design nothing. You need to have a good command over both of softwares. But if you are good at number one, then it's not a very much problem. You can call yourself a good graphic designer if you have a knowledge of either of these. Okay, let's just get to the fundamentals: color contrast, fonts, white space, alignment, and hierarchy. Why are these all fundamentals very necessary to be checked for if you want to design something, if you are a graphic designer? See, as I told you earlier, there can be numerous of fundamentals. I read that there are 14 fundamentals, but today I'll be discussing only about five that are on the topmost priority, because if we were to discuss all the 14, that will be very boring. So I have picked top five fundamental, top five basics of graphic designing. that you need to take care of, that should be there into your checklist while designing something. First of all, we have color contrast. Let me just show you something. A difference between bad contrast and good contrast. You can see, I have seen people using this color scheme, like when they put a yellow color over this weird looking green color. That, in my opinion, that does not look good every time. And for a good contrast photograph, I have chosen this color combination where I have put a red background and use a yellow text. I've seen people, and I saw some queries coming up on our the registration link that was shown onto the that was given to all of you guys. So some people ask me that what are the ways to use colors. What I do is I use this website which is known as color.adobe.com. Let me just get into the website. Okay, so we have a proper color scheme of everything. You can choose these colors or you can adjust colors according to your opinions. And if you need to find colors of your particular design, you can search that as well. There are different color harmony rules that are followed by different designers. I'll just give you a gist of it. Analogous colors, monochromatic, triad, complementary. What are they and how to use them? I'll just tell you in a moment. First of all, we have analogous colors. Analogous colors are similar looking colors which can be of the same family. Monochromatic colors are two or more colors having different hues or shades. Like if I tell you we have chosen this color of blue, so the A part and the B part, they are monochromatic. All of them, although are the family or from the family of monochromatic color scheme. But if I take color A, color B, color C, if you see, they are all part of the blue color family. But the only difference between them is the brightness, or I either say the the brightness and the hues. What are hues? I'll be discussing about in the later section. So you can see from the name itself, monochromatic is monochrome, having the same color. Mono means same and chrome means color. Then we have triads. Triads are the colors which are placed equidistant from each other on the color palette. Like if we see triads, I personally love triads color scheme because they give you a variety of colors. A, B, C, D, E. Complementary colors are opposite to each other, or they are opposite in nature. Split complementary are, if you can see this, that is the half of the complementary one. Like if you pull one arm from this side and one from arm from the opposite this side, split complementary. See, you do not need to get into the depth of it. You can just check them out and look what's best for business. But the only suggestion I'll be giving you, don't go for bad colors. Don't go for colors like these, which you have do not any much of any aesthetic appeal. That is what putting colors in your design is all about. So next we have fonts. There are two type of fonts, although there are four type of fonts, but I'll be discussing about two main types that you need to take care of in your designs. First of all, we have serif fonts, and second we have sans serif or non-serif fonts. What are serifs? Serifs are these extensions. You can see these extensions are known as serif, and where to use them and how to use them, I'll be telling you all about this. Serif fonts are used in newspapers. If you see, Times New Roman is a type of a serif font. Yes, these are used in books and all the text that is printed, because serifs have these extensions that make them look easy to read. So it is always tried to avoid. People tend to avoid using sans serif fonts in printed publications. So that is why serif fonts have good readability probability. So that is why serifs are always used in printed publications. Although you can use serifs in desktop publications and on the web, but it all depends if the design demands usage of serifs or not. It all depends on you. We can have a look at some of the serif texts. All the magazines, major magazines, I'll rather say, and newspapers use serif fonts as their primary fonts. Next up, we have non-serif fonts, which basically are used in web publications. For example, as I told you earlier, like in this poster, yeah, this poster I used sans serif font. This do not have this font doesn't have any serif. This font is just used for this communication purpose. I'll rather say for an easy communication. Although I have used this font from which deluxe is written, that is a part of display fonts. Display fonts is a very vast topic to understand. So I'll just be explaining you these two fonts, serif and sans serif. Next up, what fonts we must use, we must not be using. First of all, I've seen people using Comic Sans, Impact, Algerian, so on. I cannot remember any more of them. So always when you're designing something, you must avoid using these three fonts. Why? Because these three fonts are overused. They were once used in 1990s and in the era when designing was just born. But these fonts, I'll rather say, these fonts are outdated fonts. Do not use them in your designing. And utility of designs is very important. If you see, the same text is written in two ways. Firstly, waiting for you in the car parking, waiting for you in the car parking. The only difference is the utility of fonts, the type of fonts that has been used in these two texts. The first one is giving a very sensuous, I'll rather say, or very beautiful appeal. But the second one, the second design is scaring the shit out of me. If I'll see this text waiting for you in the car parking, and if someone put uh, this sticker on my office desk, I'll be definitely be scared a lot. But this font has a very beautiful and very sensuous appeal. So that is why fonts matter a lot. I have written there's a reason why fonts matter. You cannot just put any of the font and place them onto your design. That doesn't make sense. Always try to use a maximum of two or like three fonts, not more than that in your design. Because more the fonts are, more they create confusion. I'll rather say that when you're designing something, either stick to one font or maybe two fonts, or if it's very much urgent, go for three, but not more than three. So this completes our discussion of the font part, the third fundamental. Oh, it was a second fundamental. The third up we have is white space. What is white space? Let us just get into it. Okay, this is a very interesting thing. You must have heard of this brand known as FedEx. If you see the logo, it is a logo design. Yes, number one. If you see the logo, you can see a very tiny arrow hidden in the logo. This is known as negative space. This is the logo that they have hidden in their logo. This is a tiny logo, and this arrow has a symbolism that tells you about progress. Usually, too many people don't notice this, but this is a perfect example of how to use white space very intelligently. Next example, we have the page of the Google, the web page of the Google, the search engine Google. If you see, I have just I've taken a screenshot, but I'll be going to the actual website. If you see the web page, there is a plenty of white space that has been left center in the bottom and on the left sides and a little bit on the top side. Why Google did that? Because they want to give importance to the search bar, and definitely that is the uh, that is the center of attraction of this page. So that is why white page is very much important. If I had a Google page, if like someone else uh, bring this to like this or this, if someone does that, that won't be very much effective, and people will tend to lose their take their concentration, and they might leave the website as well. So that is why white space is very much important while designing. You do not need to have a particular symmetry. All you need to do is make the design aesthetically good. If you see Google's web page, there is no symmetry as when we compare the lefts to the tops and bottoms. But there is symmetry when I see the design from the left and from the right. They are parallelly symmetrical. So this is how you can use white space in your design, and this is how this thing works. This really creates a very big impact, I'll say. Next up, we have two types of content that I have written. If you see the leading or the space between the lines of this paragraph and this paragraph. This looks very congested. I do not want to read this because it is making me suffocated. I cannot see any white space or any breathing space between the lines of this paragraph. But if I see this paragraph is making me very much comfortable. This is human nature. I don't know why does this happen, but people always try to be very clear in the things they want to see. When we compare both the paragraphs, you will see that uh, this might make you feel a bit uncomfortable versus when we see this content. This really soothes the eyes, number one, and this is good for visual things. I'll say that. So that is up for this section. We have just covered the white space or why white space, white balance is very necessary in your design. Third up, fourth up, we have alignment. One of the most important things that people need to take care of. I have mentioned two types of alignments. This is an example of bad alignment. You can see why is it bad because the the two words example of are being written on the writer part of the paragraph that makes no sense, that is not looking good, and the sorry, and the space between these two is not symmetrical, not equal. So this is an example of bad alignment, and on the other side we have the correct alignment or an okay alignment. You can see how presentable it is looking. If we see, if you people must have used software known as MS Word. MS Word also gives you multiple types of orientation: justified, center aligned, left aligned, center and right aligned. So that is why alignment is important. We people, when we read English or when we read the Roman script, we tend to read from left to right, and that is how I our eyes want things to be read. But if you are breaking, I'll say, if you are breaking the momentum of people reading text, that won't be eye-catching, number one, and that won't create any much of a difference. Next up, I have this poster, very weird poster. He have first of all, you can see he has used different types of fonts that are definitely not uh, uh, they are not recommended. Secondly, he has used the usage of this text. I don't know. This is really making me feel very uncomfortable. You cannot write the text simply like in this orientation when you have something uh, so important written. Like on this whole poster, sale is one of the most important words that need to be read easily. But I don't want to tilt my head, and I don't want to uh, see a word that is so much important yet so less noticeable. The spacing between these lines is really making me uncomfortable. You like family. I don't know what kind of poster this is. I just googled it and I showed this to you all of you guys because I wanted to tell what is the difference between a good alignment text and a bad alignment text. Next up, we have this poster. It is very much pixelated. I'm very sorry. I must not be using this. But if you say they wanted to say sale and they wanted to write this sale twice, but instead what they did is they did this and this made me laugh or giggle a bit because it pronounces like sa sa lele that again that doesn't make any sense. So that is why alignment is very much important. You need to have a good alignment. You need your text to be aligned very well, unless otherwise the poster that you are making or the design that you are working on that won't make any sense. So next up, last point of the fundamentals or the basics of graphic design, we have hierarchy. Hierarchy is very important. Again, I say a very common, a very minimal example why hierarchy is different. I've seen people giving much prominence to the title sorry, people who give prominence to the title, less prominence to the subheading and the heading. That again won't make any sense. That is the human sense. Actually, I don't think that is a thing to be discussed upon. But yet, it is a very important topic that you need a good hierarchy. The topics that are to be given much of importance should be kept above of all, number one, and should be bold in nature. Second point, we have the heading that is some points lesser than the title, and then we have subheading which is some points lesser than the heading. So that is how you maintain hierarchy. If you like don't maintain hierarchy, your audiences and your customers will tend to lose their attention. If, for example, if I were to design a poster and I am writing sale, let me just show you once. If I am to design a poster, this is the background of the poster. Just designing very small thing, and I write sale. I've written sale on the bottom and all the other text and other information I have put here. So that won't make any sense because your main center of attraction that you want people to see is this sale 50% off. You need to tell people that this is a sale of a particular thing and you are giving off 50%, and that is how this poster will be useful. Otherwise it won't make any sense. The text that you must be giving prominence to is the sale part, and if I write TNC apply in a bigger text, in a bigger font than the sale, that this is also not making any sense. See the difference? The thing that has to be bigger in nature is being placed on the bottom right. That is being given less prominence, and the text that was to be placed somewhere in the sides or somewhere in the text or in the middle with a very less font size has been given useless prominence. That is where hierarchy is important. You need to place everything in place, and you need to take care of the text and the elements that you are designing. So this is this is all what I'll say. These are the fundamentals that uh, you will be needing to be a graphic designer. Before we proceed ahead to the practical session, I'll be uh, contacting Shivam once again so that he can give me some time to have some water because I am currently having a sore throat already. So I needed some time to relax myself and let Shivam speak. So Shivam, you are on screen, I guess, right now. You can take
Yeah.
up the stage and please let me relax a bit.
Yeah, sure, definitely, definitely. No problem. And I guess the session so far is going explosive. And, this the each and everything that you're sharing with us is what we say, like, we had a deal about conducting a session, and you are literally giving us the knowledge of a whole, like, full course. So yeah,
Mhm.
it's going fantastic. Thank you for that.
Thank you so
And
much, Shivam.
yeah, and before moving to the practical session, I would like to mention for each and everyone right now, like, present in the session, there is a surprise, or we can say it a surprise or a gift for each and every attendee that remains that remains till the last point. And yeah, I guess that's it. So, Chirag, Mr. Chirag, we are literally so, like, just so much eager to see how to apply all those things in practical life. So yeah, on to
Okay,
you.
thank you so much for the lovely, I'll say, reintroduction, Shivam. I'm really enjoying the session, to be honest, and let's just get on to the practical session. Hello, Shivam. Before we proceed, I need you to WhatsApp me or email me the previous design that you designed, design poster that you designed for the promotion of this event. That was a very pathetic design, which I mentioned on the chat.
Yeah,
Can you share me? Can you
yeah,
share
yeah,
me the
yeah,
email?
yeah. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Wait a second.
I need to tell everyone there was a design that the team of Gemtech, Enactus Jemtec made. That was pathetically designed. I'll be very forward to them. That was purposely designed very bad because you need to see what was bad in it, number one, and what can be better in that design. So I'll be redesigning one of the posters for this session by myself, and I'll be telling you what how to create a poster for any event or for anything that has an information to convey. So I'll be needing that poster, Shivam. I'll be waiting for the mail. Let me know once you mail. In the meantime, we can proceed to the practical part.
I'm just mailing you in a few seconds. Yeah,
Sorry.
I'm just mailing you in a few seconds. Meanwhile,
Okay.
you can just carry on with the session.
Okay. Okay, Shivam. Okay. So I'll be designing a poster for everyone out there. I have my client as Enactus. Enactus have told me to design a poster of an individual, a very handsome individual known as Chirag Puri, and they want uh, a poster to be designed where all the information has been should be there on the poster. So they have just texted me design. This is a hypothetical situation. I'll be mentioning that once again. They have texted me learning the basics of graphic designing with Chirag Puri. January 4 has been mentioned. I'll do January 10, 2021 from 4 p.m. Instagram @ Enactus Jemtec. Insta FB logos has to be included. And for more details, I have mentioned a very random number 9899123456. In the meantime, I really want to tell you what things were not up to the mark on the poster designed by Enactus Jemtec. I have got the mail. Let me just show you once. I'll download it. So there, kudos to the marketing and the promotion team who has designed a very pathetic yet a very informative poster which says yes, which says the title is if you don't want to design like this, please register yourself. If we see number one, the things I'll be discussing about the things that I didn't like at all. Number one, the color scheme. You see, the logo of Enactors is almost merging with the logo with the background. If we could have used a black logo here, that could have been looked better. or we could have placed this logo in a banner. What is the banner? I'll be discussing about in the later section. Presented by Enactus Jemtec, very pathetic choice of fonts. If you see, they have used like one, two, three, four, five, six or seven fonts. Uh, that is not how you do things. I like the only thing I like about this design is this smiling sunflower that is really looking positive, but that is also not going with the theme of the design. Number two, the alignment of if you don't, as with compared to one design like this is not uh, appealing to me. They have put a boundary stroke out of the design text, and they have just uh, given this weird shadow that is making it look hard to see or hard to read. For rest of your life, register right now. It's not looking good. You do not need to make any arrows. If you're making arrows, then it might mean that you are deliberately, or you're forcing your audience to look at that particular thing. You do not need to force anyone. It's the choice of your audience. It's the choice of your viewers who want to see what you can want them to see. It's all up to you. That is where design hierarchy, and that is when design other elements, other fundamentals come into place. For January, the spelling of January is not correct. I don't know if that was done deliberately or not. For January 2021, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. It is literally free of cost. It is free of cost, but I'll say this is a very well done poster. This is how a noob or a beginner will design. And I think most of the people who is connected, they really want to know how to grow themselves as a designer. Number one, or they might want to learn how to present yourself as a designer and how to design beautifully. That is the main point. That is the end point. I'll rather say. So
Chirag,
okay,
sorry to interrupt you.
sure.
Yeah. So like regarding that thing that we are doing, while I discussed this idea with you
Mm,
regarding this kind of promotion,
mm,
we had literally we were literally struggling to make this pathetic design. I mean, once like the thing that I'm trying to say is
mm,
once each and every one of you you have experience in graphic designing or something, you like all those things that you're mentioning, all the rules, the 14 rules or the 5 rules that you're teaching today, they
mm.
come to you as a natural instinct while making
Bilkul.
a design.
True that. True
Yeah,
that. True that.
yeah.
If
So
you see
that's
this,
the
yes, yes.
yeah, so that's the thing. I would like to literally make focus on that.
Mm,
That each and everything that you are teaching today, I would like each and every person, every attendee to practice it on their own after after the session. We'll be
absolutely.
having the recording of this session, and you obviously they can if you want to share your Instagram ID, they can approach you afterwards, and yeah, so that's the thing. And also additionally, 4th January, that was intentional.
Okay. I really noticed this. I noticed this thing just right now.
Yeah,
That was intention, and that is why you need to be a good observer as a designer.
actually,
I feel.
actually the main thing is ki, like while even you might have noticed while in earlier in your career, after making the designs, you don't notice all these little text, and afterwards they create a blunder. Man, it is so embarrassing. So I needed it to be be there.
That is really well done and very pathetically. I'll use this word pathetic because I really like this design. To be honest, I like the way how you guys have promoted this event like this. That this is a definitely this is a creative way to promote. And writing the word January deliberately. This shows that if you are a designer and you don't want this blunder to be there on your designs, so you need to be a bit clever, I'll rather say, and a bit active on whatever you are doing. You need to proofread everything before you send the final draft to your boss, to your client.
Definitely.
So, okay, let us just proceed with the practical session. I have my Adobe Photoshop opened up. If you don't have this software, you need either need to buy it, number one, or you need to find some ways, you can download this program for free. I won't be mentioning about the illegal ways, but there are multiple ways. If you Google them, you will find which ways I'm talking about. So number one, we will be going to file and then new, or you can just press Control N, which will make you pop this screen. This screen will be popping up just in a while, or we haven't just clicked. Yes, new document screen has just popped up. Maybe my computer is lagging a bit. I don't know why. So the width and the height dimensions that we will be working with is 1080, which is the width, and 1080 will be the height, and the resolution has to be 72. See, if you're designing for anything print, the resolution has to be 300. Mind that. But if you're designing for anything web, then the resolution has to be 72. Color mode has to be RGB for print, and color mode for RGB for web, and CMYK for print. You can Google that as well. And we will be creating for the print for the web medium. So 1080 is the width, 1080 is the height, resolution is 72, and then we click on create. We have just come up with this with blank white color canvas or artboard, whatever you call it. We will be designing everything on this artboard. This is an artboard. Apart from this, the black the black section. This is not where we need to create anything. Okay, so let's get started. We have this text. Learning the basics of graphic designing with Chirag Puri, January 10, 2021, and so on. I've mentioned it already. We have the resources. The client has given this photograph of this handsome guy, this very beautiful gentleman. So what we need to do is we can do one thing. We can uh, place like or just do one thing. Take this photograph to Photoshop, drag this, and place it on a canvas. That is the easiest way to place your photographs on the canvas. What I did is, I'll show you once again. Drag this photograph, take this to your Photoshop icon, which is already open. Shivangi Mishra, I don't know if you cannot see my screen. My screen is already available. Shivam, can you please assist Shivangi? And
Yeah,
then,
yeah, sure. I'm seeing to it.
okay, everyone else can see my screen, right?
Yes, it's
Yeah,
visible.
you're visible, but I guess what's the problem? I'm seeing to it. Okay. Either like otherwise you're visible.
Okay, I am visible and my screen is visible as well, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay, glad to know that. Okay, so I have just taken an image of this handsome gentleman, and I'll be reducing the size a bit. This will be enough. Okay, so what I need to do is see, graphic designing is all about. Okay, Kush wants to know more about resolutions. Kush, I'll be explaining and I'll be taking all up your queries in the later section when the designing part is all done and when the practical session is all done. Let me just get into this practical session, then we'll be discussing about the rest. Okay, so we have this photograph. I have two options to cut this. What I do is I click this layer. You must have the layers panel already opened up. If you cannot see the layers panel, you can go on Windows and check the layers panel. And you have to press this button known as quick selection tool that has a keyword for W, the shortcut for W, and you have to select the subject. When I select the subject, Photoshop is so smart and Photoshop is so, I'll say this is uh, all because of AI that we have been blessed with this type of technology. Photoshop notices what is the subject and what is the background. He notices it notices the difference between the subject and the background. So when I clicked select subject in the quick selection tool, the quick selection tool has a shortcut for W. When I select subject, you can see the photograph of mine will be automatically be selected. Although some parts of my jacket are not selected, we can do that part later. So what we need to do is, then we need to grab a pen tool. Pen tool has a shortcut for P, and then we need to select all these areas. So I'll be starting from there, and this is how you use pen tool. We close the polygon, and we then go to selection and add to selection. We need to add select this part with this part. So we go to selection, and we need to add to selection, and that is how we have just increased the selection part. Same from this for this side. We use the pen tool. We just take a random selection. We close the path, go to selection, and add a selection. See, this is how this pen tool works. Or what you could have done is, you have zoomed in a bit, take the pen tool and make a manual selection of the edges. This will take a very much time. This will take a pretty much time. This will take a while. Then I'll have to complete all of my boundary, my head, my shoulder, the other part of the shoulder that is not visible. I'll have to take everything, and then when done, when all done, then I'll be going to selection and new selection. So what I have done is, I have just taken the selection of this part already, and now I'll be hitting this button known as mask button. Mask button is a very important button, is a very essential tool of Photoshop. I'll be hitting the mask button. See, if you zoom in, if you can see, I do not have any, or maybe I have. I can show you, not this one. Yes. If you see this side, this is a very pixelated photo because I took the screenshot of the Photoshop screen. If you see this photo, there are two types of colors. One white, and one is brown. The white section that you can see is the visible section of the photograph. See, the visible part. And the black section is the part that you cannot see. If I paint over black color on my face, then you can see my eyes are gone. If you see, there's a very tiny little black color coming on my face. So that means black color hides and white color shows. If we do this vice versa, if I want to reveal this part, if I paintbrush in this part, you can see this part has increased a bit, and you can see that the white part has revealed the background. So this is how masking works like. We have just learned what is the concept of masking. Black color hides, white color shows. If you want to paint over the masking thing, you just need to click the mask thumbnail, and then you need to paint over. Like if you make any red color, that won't work because masking just works on three colors: black, red, black, white, and gray. I took red color, but it is here showing up as a red color, as gray color, and it will be between black and white. It won't have any much of transparency like white, or opaqueness, if that is a word, or opaqueness like black. So that is how we have masked our pictures. And I need to have a circle cut out of this picture. So I'll be choosing the circle tool, the elliptical marquee tool, and I have hold shift so that I'll get a perfect circle. If you don't hit shift, you will get a circle which has irregular ratios. But if we hold the shift button, you can see I can pull out a circle in a correct dimension. And then this is a bit small. Because of this photograph, I do not have any other part of my shoulder. So I'll be choosing the circle section of just my face. Okay, we are done. And now we will go to right click. I'll just right click and select inverse. See, now this inner section was, if I zoom in, yes. Now when I made the marquee tool selection, only the inner section of this face is selected. If I do some changes, only inner section will be done, not the outer section. You can see only the inner section of the face is being highlighted. But if I go to marquee tool again, and if I select inverse, that works as the word says, it will invert your selection. Now everything is selected except your face. Like if I do this, see, everything is selected except your face. Now I need to get rid of my lower body part. So what I do is I select the black color. I'll check that the selection is on the mask, and I erase everything. And now you can see only the thing that I wanted to highlight is being highlighted on this page. I need to rub it because I am using a pen tablet, so it is a bit difficult for me at times. But I need to do some minor changes. But for people who are using mouse, this process is much easier. Okay, now we can use this move tool, which is a shortcut for V, and we can move anywhere. This looks pretty much funny because I am doing this with my photo. So next up, I have my photo, and I need to do something. What I can do is I can pull out an ellipse for me, and I can, yeah. So if you see, my face is hidden just like a lunar eclipse because my there is an ellipse just in front of the layer on which my photograph was there. I can rename this photograph as Chirag Puri, and I can take the ellipse and drag it down so that my photo is visible now. Now there it is. My photo is now visible because, and number one, the ellipse layer is just behind of my photograph. That is why you can see my face right now. And this is how layering works. We have just learned another concept known as layering, where you need to layer everything into the correct position. Okay, so I have just put my photograph. I can select both of them, what I just did. I dragged and select. See, these two layers have been selected, and I can press the Alt key and increase the size of it. Yes, this looks perfect. This looks magnificent. Next up, I think I need to add a background color. So for that, I'll be going to the shape builder tool, or the shape tool. I need a rectangle or a square. I did a square. This was a black color square. I'll be putting this just above the background layer. I'll be double clicking this, and this shows up my color options. I need a very off-white color. I do not like white. I always try to choose off-white color. This makes the design look very good. Okay, so we have chosen the background color. This can be anything of your choice, but just make sure to follow the contrast, the color contrast fundamental that we learned. We cannot use bad contrast things. We always have to use the good contrast things, the good contrast design elements. Okay, so I think I can take this with white color. Now, if you see, these two colors are separately visible. I can take this here, or I can increase the size of this. Take this here, around here. Okay, so just for instance, if I want to add a boundary over the ellipse, the circle behind my face, I need to double click it. This will give up my layer styling options that I can use to put styles on my desired layer. So I need a stroke out of it. This is how stroking works. I need to have a very light looking gray color. This looks good. You can play around with everything. Photoshop is all about permutations and combinations. I tell this to everyone. It's all about how you try things. It's all about trials and combinations. Whichever looks good is good to go. There is no perfect design in my opinion. If it is looking good to eyes, it's a thumbs up every time. Okay, I can lock this layer because I think this looks fine. Yeah. Now I need the text to be placed, learning the basics of graphic designing with Chirag Puri. Before that, I need the logo of Enactus to be placed. I have put this logo right there. This position looks good to me. Don't ever try to make logos look very big. Very big logos are not always recommended. Your customers are the fans of your services, not the logos. Mind that. And now we have the text, learning the basics of graphic designing with Chirag Puri. Now you need to hit the text tool. Here's the text tool. I have tapped once and there's a big text right up there. I don't need that much big. I need to reduce the size of it a bit. What is lorem ipsum? Lorem ipsum, you can Google it. Learning, I think the text of this can be changed, maybe knockout. And I said this thing earlier, it is all about permutations and combinations. You do not, which font looks good with which font. This will be learned by you gradually. This is not a one day job. The basics. Okay, I need to add some color. So to add color, what I do is either you can write the text with your desired color, taken from this left section where you have foreground and background color separately. Or what I do is select the text, double click on it, and you can see the color bar, the color option, the color picker coming on the top. You can do any of the ways. Okay, so I am a fan of this raspberry pink color. I like it pretty much. This looks good to me, and this will go with our logo color as well. We can do the same color for this. What we can do is, if you want to pick the same color, just go to the color picker and tap on the color you want to pick. This will make everything look similar. We will do this a bit up, pull this thing a bit up, and this is called a banner which I have made, and I need this banner to go behind my face, to go behind the ellipse. Yes, it did. And I need, okay, so to change the color of this banner, I need to double click on it, and this will take us to the color picker. This looks good. I think this color is pretty much very vibrant. It is not looking good to me. Yes, this pink I like. It's all up to you. Some people might not be liking the color choices I have. I sometimes have very weird color choices. I'm a boy, but I like pink color. I am an exception. It's not pink. It's not feminine, but it's a shade of pink. We can increase this. Looks good. And then we have text, learning the basics of graphic designing. We wanted to highlight the term graphic designing. That is why I just pulled off a banner like this. We will write graphic designing. I'm just, I hope I am really not much boring you guys or making this session bored, but this is how graphic designing works in my opinion. Things can be creative at times and things can be boring at times, but you have to deal with it. You have to deal with everything though. Okay. Okay, we missed off. We can shift this layer to the left, or we can decrease the size a little bit. And now you can see the poster is taking up its shape. It is a very corporate type of a very formal poster. It doesn't have any party like vibe because it has to be uh, for very formal event. That is why I'm taking that into consideration. Okay, so now you can see that the words graphic and designing are colliding with each other. Each other. We need to adjust the spacing between them. For that, we have this tool known as character tool. In the character tool, you can there is a option called there are two things, leading and tracking. You just have to play with them. This thing will expand my text. You do not need to add multiple spaces or tabs between between the letters. This will expand your text, and this will adjust the line spacing between two individual lines. You just need to play with them. Whichever looks good, is good to go. I guess, increase this a bit. And now you can see we have a good emphasis on the term graphic designing. No, we need it to be all caps. Or maybe we can use this looks good to me. I have just written the learning the basics of graphic design. I hope that makes sense. Learning the basics of graphic design. Yes, it does. And seeing this text, you can assume that this guy over here could be the one of the members of the team, or could be the guest of honor, could be the chief guest of this event. We need to specify that. We have just mentioned the text number one, and number two, we will be mentioning the rest details. January 10, 2021, 4 p.m. Then we'll be going down. Okay, no typos. I'm so sorry. January 10, 2021. That we need to drag a little bit left. Yes, this looks good. 4 p.m. onwards. 4 p.m. onwards. And you can see how I played with the white space. There is much of a breathing space between the rest of the part that has been left unattended. We'll be discussing about those things later on once the design is complete. You can see Everything that we discussed earlier is being followed. The fundamentals are being followed in this design. I added some, I'll be doing some tweaking, some very minimal things that makes designs look good. I need this layer to be behind and this layer to come up. Yes, wonderful. Now you can see how well the text is presented. January 10, 2021, 4 p.m. onwards. I guess I can pull off a space between them. This definitely makes it look good. I can take this all and I can Control G will make you group them. Control G. If I press Control G, I cannot show you my keyboard. Control G. G for genius, which everyone today is on our attendees. Everyone is genius, I guess. And yes, we can place this here or we can place this anywhere. It's all up to you. It's all permutation and combinations, as I told you earlier. Next thing we need to mention with Chirag Puri. I'll be writing. I just took a copy of this text. What I did is I selected this text. I pressed and Alt. Shift and Alt. Shift will prevent the text going from anywhere from any column to any column, and Alt will get you a copy of it. So if I don't press Shift, or if I just press Alt and not Shift, I'll just get a copy of it. But if I press both the keys together, you can see I cannot move it anyways. If I release Shift, I can move my text or my any layer to anywhere. I have just pressed Shift so that I can be aligned to the text. Here we are doing the left alignment of the text with, and we need to mention Chirag Puri. You can highlight or you can not highlight, I'll say, because see the mention of the concept that we are following is to convey a message that there is an event named as Learning the Basics of Graphic Designing with Chirag Puri. Chirag Puri is already been placed, his face is already been placed on the screen. So if anyone who is concerned about graphic designing, first of all, he will be seeing the graphic designing term being highlighted very much. Then number one is graphic designing. Then number two is Chirag Puri, because he's not concerned with Chirag Puri. He might not know who is Chirag Puri. I'm not Shah Rukh Khan, but he only thing that he concerns is that he wants to learn graphic designing. So it's all up to you. You can place Chirag Puri with a little bit of less prominence as compared to graphic designing. See, this thing varies place to place, where you want things to be highlighted or not. If it is a name of a very prominent personality, or or that personality is the center of attraction of that event, please place his name as big as possible, but it should look good. Bigger names attract bigger text, attract big eyes, I'll rather say. So this is, I think, more than enough. Learning the basics of graphic designing with Chirag Puri, and I think this can be placed over here. We need to mention the dates with a bigger font, because we want people to see if they are available on that particular date or not. The more the visibility of the text is, the more easy it is to grab attentions and to make people make their decisions if they want to attend this type of event or not. This is a very basic designing that I am doing. This might take a lot time for many of the guys that have been that are already connected to us. But again and again, I say practice makes a man perfect. You need to practice again and again, and that is how you will excel things. Now, I'll put a banner over there like this. This is not a banner, this is a rectangle, and I'll rotate it to a certain angle. This looks good so that I cannot see the edges, and I'll put this rectangle to the last layer or to the layer where my photo is visible at least. This looks good. We can get a copy of it. This is how you get a copy, and you can see we are almost done with all the designing part. This looks good to me. Looks very fantastic. And a banner at the bottom. Let's say make it black. Is it looking good? I don't think so. Or a dark gray shade. Yes, this looks good. I think I need to increase the sizes and the spaces between the text because it is not coming up with the fundamentals. We are not we are not obeying the fundamentals. And next we will be adding Instagram at, we can copy at Enactus Jemtec, make a layer, copy and paste. And more details. We will reduce the size of this thing, put this at the bottom so that people can see if they want to contact. And more details. For inquiry, you can call this number. We'll just get a copy of it. We need everything to be center aligned properly so that there is no visual parallax or there is no visual problems. Visually, it looks good. I'm just holding the shift key so that I can select multiple layers. And now I need to get the Instagram logo. You can Google it, right? Not the Instagram logo. Okay, what I recommend is to use this Instagram logo instead of the full one because this looks far more better. It's all up to you though. It's all up to how your client or your boss wants things to be placed. You can copy, go to our image, paste, and now using the eraser tool, you need to select the eraser tool. Sorry, you need to select the magic eraser tool that vanishes the white part. If we did it to the purple part, it will delete the purple part. So you can either mask it, that will take time. I use the magic eraser tool, that saves much of my time. Reduce the size of it. We know this is Instagram. We know this is the logo of Instagram. This looks good to me. Yes. If you want, then you can add a white square in just behind of it so that it is visible. Yes, it looks good to me. So there are numerous of things that you can do on this software. I've just uh, I tried to show you the fundamentals. I have made one design, and don't forget to save your design as soon as you proceed to next steps. That is very important. I've seen some technical problems or electricity going off or losing your internet connection. That all will make you lose everything. That is really unfortunate for everyone. I tried to make one design. I just did it. Okay, I did my photo the other way, and this is how I designed uh, the other part. This is the complete design that I designed earlier before coming to this session. Basically, I all I wanted to do is to teach you how to use fonts. If you see, there are only two fonts. There are only two colors used, or three: pink, white, and this black color, and a little bit of gray as well. So you do not need to exaggerate things. You just need to be very uh, clear to your concepts. You need to see what people are doing and observe good designs. This is very important. And Shivam, I am all done with the designing part, all the practical part. There is a little bit of surprise for all of you guys that Shivam will be declaring later on. And Shivam, should I reveal the surprise or should you?
I guess it will be better if you go on for revealing the surprise. Yeah, it's best.
Sorry, can you just repeat? I misheard it. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. I'm saying that it will be better if you reveal the surprise.
Okay, there's a very tiny little surprise for all you guys. That is, I'll be sharing you the resources of this PDF document that I made, and I'll be sharing you this files, and you will get fonts that are being used in the files. There will be open file of this photo of this document, so that all the keen designers who have connected in this session to all of us, to us, they can just see how designs, how the elements have been placed, and how the text have been placed into the onto the canvas, so that this is a you can see this can be a benchmark for you, or this can be a good not a
A base to
milestone.
start
This
on,
can
yeah,
be
a
a
base to
base,
build upon.
base to everyone who want to design, so that next time when people want to design, they can use this photograph or the elements from this photograph, from this document, or the typography, the fundamentals that are being used in this document. This document will definitely help you later on in some point of time if you are trying to be a designer, like anytime in the future.
Yeah. So yeah, the session was extremely wonderful, and I guess
Thank you.
each and every attendee of this session will agree with me on this point that it was really resourceful, and I would again like to mention it that we asked you to deliver a session, and you gave us a full cooked course. So yeah, it was literally like worth noticing, and there were many points that even experienced a bit experienced graphic designers were missing on. And thank you for recapitulating it. And yeah, so I guess it's the time that we should be moving on to our next what we say the final chapter, that is the question answers. And before moving on to question answers, I would like to introduce a thing that I was going to introduce, keep it for the last, but I guess it's about time that I should just tell you guys. So guys, each and everything in order to make sure that you guys learn well and you are able to apply your knowledge, we are introducing the Enactus Jemtec. Requests you to make a poster. We'll be sharing you all the resources and the information that you require later on after this event is over via email. and we request you to make a poster of your own, just like with using your photo, and you can assume a fake event, or you can just promote yourself. Yeah, just be creative, just make a poster and share it on Instagram, tag us, and we'll reshare it. And all those who share their poster via email, via Instagram, or any other medium, they all will be receiving a participation certificate. So yeah, so it is something worth working, guys. So yeah, let's move on to the question answers. I guess, Chirag, you want me to just tell you questions one by one, or like any other?
You can tell me questions one by one. That will be more feasible to me.
Okay, so let's do one thing. I'm telling questions one by one, and all the attendees are open to answer the ask the questions. And I guess Kush asked something about resolutions. So I guess you can start with that.
Okay. For resolutions, you need to know. First of all, you need to get an idea of the type of design that you are making. There are multiple resolutions. You do not need to remember all of them. Let me just get to it. You can just Google and Google one thing on Google Images. Like if you're working for Instagram, you can just Google Instagram cheat sheet. These are the all resolutions that are needed for Instagram photo posts, like 1 by 1, 1.91 by 1, 4.5. What do they mean? I'll be telling you in a while. Let us just get started. So first of all, we have two kinds of resolutions. We have resolutions for the print and we have resolutions for the web. For print, uh, width and height could vary, but for print, if you are designing, you need to have a resolution of 300. What is resolution? Resolution is pixels per inch, like how many pixels you are getting in 1 inch, 1 square inch. The more the pixels are in 1 square inch, the more will be your clarity. It is always recommended that for print designs are hard designs. They need to either they need to travel, they have a transit nature. Print designs, for example, a visiting card has a transit nature, or a catalog. You need you That is portable in nature. You need the print designs to be clear. Or if you are designing something for the web, the resolution has to be 72. For the dimensions, as I told you earlier, if you need to design for any particular dimension, you can just Google any dimension. If you're creating for Instagram, always I recommend the size to be 1080 by 1080 or 1080 by 1350. That is the dimension, and the resolution has to be 72 all the time. You can make the resolution 100 or 150. That all depends when you want the designs to be more clear. But for web, you do not need to make the designs way too clear, because for web, designs do not need to be seen for a longer time, but print designs tend to be seen for a longer time. So that is the difference. I think I'm clear with my words.
Yeah, Chirag. It was quite information and resourceful. So let's move to another question. It has been asked by another fellow attendee, and it is, what are the ways to generate income? As a graphic designer, as an illustrator, being in the industry, you might be able to answer this very particularly. So yeah.
Okay. See, I made a slide of it. I was pretty much confused uh, if I were to reveal that or not. Let me just take that slide as well. That is just a question slide that has a question written over it. There it is. So, what are the futures with graphic design and the salaries concerned with it? See, as a graphic designer, I feel that I am pretty much fortunate that graphic designing is one of the uh, professions which cannot be easily taken over by artificial intelligence. Because you know what, graphic designing requires human interference. If you need particular design to be designed, then you need human interference. You need particular text to be placed at a particular place. Although there are many softwares, if you go around you on the web, you can see many softwares which are letting you do the work, which are making work very easier for you. They have a set of templates in which you can just type your text, and the artificial intelligence system will get you a particular design. But I still feel the era in which we all are living in, our profession is not very much to be, like, easily taken over by artificial intelligence. So it is, first of all, it is a very safe profession to be in. Future with graphic designing, you can be there are multiple ways you can use graphic designing in your profession. You can be a logo designer, you can be a UX UI designer. UX UI designer is a very vast concept of its own. You can be a graphic artist. You can create art, something which has an artistic, which has an aesthetic value. You can be a corporate designer. You can have some uh, I'll say, see, there are numerous of things. I cannot even remember them all in one go. Salaries, talking about salaries, people are getting good salaries as a graphic designer. All you need to have is a good skill set. That is what all is required. I myself, I don't have any graphic designing degree. What I do is I read a lot. I read books on graphic designing. I see content on YouTube. I observe my elders. I observe my seniors, what they are doing, and that is how you grow as a graphic designer. I have seen people who have just started graphic designing. They have not been paid well, but if you stick to this particular profession, that is my assurance. I believe that there are numerous of people who are earning in lakhs. It's all up to you if you want to work as a brand, as an individual, as a freelancer. If you want to come up with a graphic designing agency, or if you want to work under someone, because especially this COVID situation, this lockdown situation, it has told us that the need of the IT sector, graphic designing is itself a part of the IT sector, and this profession is always growing up. I've seen many corporates, many businesses shifting all of their work to the internet. They are coming to Instagram, Facebook. They want their posters to be highlighted. They want their content to be promoted on the web and on the offline part as well. So that's it. You can earn anywhere to, like, basic salary starts from like 15,000, 20,000, or you can start with a 50,000 package per month as well. It's all up to the fact how skilled are you and what is your skill set as a designer.
Yeah, Chirag, I guess what we are talking about, we can sum it up as like, if you have knowledge, you will be getting the skills, and then
Definitely,
applying it, and applying it needs practice, 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 practice. That's all we can say.
definitely, absolutely. Agree to
Yeah,
you.
Chirag, will you refer to the chat box? There are questions by question Saurabh.
Okay,
Can you
okay,
please
let me
address them?
just see. Okay.
Yeah.
Chirag sir, can we join you on the LinkedIn? Samarth, definitely you can join me on LinkedIn. I'll be very straight with you. I'm not pretty much very active on LinkedIn. You can follow me on Instagram account. My Instagram account will be shared to you with the resources file that I'll be sharing with the Gemtech, the Enactus people, and they'll be sharing you the link of all the resources. And Kush is asking which is more attractive, serif or sans serif. It is not sans serif, it is serif. No worries. It is not any point that you cannot design with any of these in particular. It all depends what is the demand of a design. For example, I work for a brand that is an F&B brand. F&B stands for food and beverages. Uh, See, I work with these type of designs, and I have used, you can see serif fonts in this. So it's not particular which font is more beautiful than the other one. It all depends on your usage. The fonts which have to be avoided, I have told you already. Never use Comic Sans, Impact, Algerian. I could have been more happy if uh, where's the photo? Let me just take it. If Enactus team must have used any sans serif, any Comic Sans font in this design, because it is a very cursed font. It is a no-no font. Never use these fonts in your design. Rest, talking about the aesthetic values of any particular font. Every font is beautiful. It all depends how you use it. That's all. Next up, we have Saurabh Kumar asking. I'm sorry, Saurabh Kumar asking how is freelance? How is freelance? How can I start? You can start freelancing by just firstly, if you want to be in this freelance business, kudos to you. You are doing a very good job. Freelance graphic designers, freelance option as a graphic designing option is a very good option. If you can be consistent in it, consistency is the only key to be a freelancer. I work some designs as a uh, as my mock projects. I redesigned them just for fun. Doordarshan, I did this rebranding work and put it on Instagram and my portfolio websites. What it helped me gain visibility to the audience. People who want their logo designs to be designed or who want their particular poster design to be designed by someone, they sometimes search you on the Google, on the Instagram platform, or on any particular freelancing website. They need you. You need to present yourself as a good designer. See, that was a project. That was a mock project. Doordarshan did not anyway paid me any particular amount for doing this rebrand. I just did for fun. I'll rather say there are numerous of projects that I did for fun, and I did to gain public eyes. These all fonts that you are seeing on the screen, they are all fake projects or mock projects. You can start doing fake projects and mock projects, and you can make connections as well. Connections is making connection or having good networks is very important to grow as a freelancer. Otherwise, you can go to websites called fiverr.com. I'll mention it: fiverr.com, upwork.com, or we have freelancer.com. You just need to get yourself registered in some of these websites, and people who are in search of good designers may search you. You need to pay something. They sometimes cut some of the taxes. It's all the taxation system. But if you want particularly to grow as a freelance designer, you need to get a good reputation in the people that you live around. What I do is whenever any particular event or festival occurs, I am trying to be a brand of myself. I want Chirag Puri to grow as a brand, and that is why that is how freelancers thrive. That is a very important aspect of uh, being a freelancer. You want to promote, and you want people to see you. And how will people see you? By seeing your work. And how people will see your work is by seeing the content that you will upload on Instagram, on Facebook, on Behance, or on your particular website. The more you post, the more your visibility is, and the more you will attract the people around you, and not just around you, the people who are in the hunt of you. I'll say that. That's it.
Yeah,
Next up,
yeah. Next question by, I guess, Divakar Malhotra. Can we Photoshop using the mobile phone?
You can use Photoshop for mobile phone, but if you want yourself to grow as a designer, I'll say don't go for mobile phone. Always use Photoshop. That is the uh, the original way of using the software, the correct way of using the software. I use Photoshop because I uh, draw things. I have a pen tablet. You can see. I draw things on my pen tablet. This is my tablet. If you can see, this is how my tablet works. I connect this tablet through my phone to my phone, and I open Photoshop, and I just scribble over there, or if I have to write things over it. But Photoshop for phone is not really much recommended. If you want to grow as a designer, then you must use Photoshop, the PC version, not the mobile phone version.
Yeah, Kush is asking about, can you explain more about contrast? I guess, Chirag, you can go back onto your Instagram and you can show some example. I saw a bit, pretty examples of contrast, I guess.
Okay, talking about contrast, see, this is a very beautifully designed logo. Lincoln National Park. This is again, I'll say this is not a real project. This is a hypothetical project. This is a mock-up project. You can see how the colors of. I can open the original file as well. Let me open it. Wait a minute, please. It was a project of 2020, and it was made in August. We have logo number 20. Is it? No, it's not. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Yes. If we see this, the contrast of the bottom color and the topmost color, it looks perfectly balanced. What is the meaning of contrast? Let me Google it. Let me get you to the correct information. I might not be knowing the correct information. Contrast is something that is different from another thing. बिल्कुल मतलब absolutely correct. If you see the color combination, this is if this is north, then this is south. I hope the fellow who has asked me this question might be getting me correctly. If this is north, this is south. It is more of a concept of the law of attraction, like opposites attract. Yes, I think I've got the correct term. Opposites attract. Okay, so like if you place something, I'll be talking about colors. If I were to go on a vast concept, that I think might be another day, another concept, another topic to discuss. Uh, if you see, how can I explain you, man? Colors is the only way I think I'll be explaining to you. If I open the color wheel and if I get to complementary colors, see the this color on the top versus this color, I'll make it just 90 degree. Yes, it is 90 degree now. Yeah. The color on the top versus the color on the bottom, they are complementary to each other. They are creating a perfect contrast to each other. They are opposite to each other. They cannot be, they cannot combine in any way. If we were to combine it, we have to place something between in the middle, and that will make the color go white. We do not want that. If we want contrast to be there in our design, we need to take two exactly opposite things and place them all together. And this is how contrast works. I'll say 99% of times it will work, 1% it will fail, depending on what kind of design you're working upon. And that is how contrast work in designing.
Yeah, I guess that was, I guess, that was apt according to me too. Contrast is basically like, two colors that complement each other and are also opposites of each other. I
True
guess
that.
that, yeah. So, and that could be done by the color wheel only.
Hmm.
So, okay. And there is another question, like, I would like to take your mind upon before ending the session. Someone asked, like, from the registration form, someone asked that what is the usefulness of this skill, the graphic designing in various fields and careers, like, in this field. I would like to formulate this question a bit further. That, Chirag, what do you think that after learning graphic designing, are there any, like, resourcefulness? What is the, what do we say, universality of this graphic designing skill?
Okay. I like this question. Very nice question to the fellow who asked this question. Let me just create a canvas. Here I did. I'll be writing some profession, some name of a very white collar profession or some many professions. I'll be writing it. Be it, let me get the right color. This color is good. Okay. Be it any doctor, any astronaut. That is a very vast profession though. Shivam, you tell me some random names of some professions that come up to your mind. That is how
Yeah.
we'll be discussing about the prominence of this field.
Okay. You don't have any particular choice or something, right? So we can say lawyer,
Sorry,
a lawyer,
a
advocate,
lawyer.
advocate. Yeah.
Okay, a lawyer.
And when when you ask someone these things randomly,
Chemical
they
engineer.
don't.
Samarth has said something. We have
Yeah.
a chemical engineer,
You can write web developer, software engineer.
software engineers, web developers.
Yeah, these are the lifelines of today's world.
True that, definitely. And we have web developer. And what was the other thing that you said?
Software engineer.
Software and web developer. They all come into the same criteria. I think we can skip that.
Okay, no problem.
Any other profession from the audience who has connected to us? Any
Yeah,
other
right.
profession?
Please feel
Politician,
free to
very good,
speak.
wonderful,
And yeah,
Priyanshu Jain. I appreciate that. Politician. Okay, that's it for now.
yeah.
See, a teacher, definitely. I'm so sorry I cannot pronounce your name. It just vanished off my screen. Artist and footballer, entrepreneur.
And we won't be mentioning artists because yeah, we are talking about graphic designing. So yeah,
My name is Chamin. Very beautiful name, Chamin. I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing it the incorrect way. Entrepreneur. I hope I have written the correct spelling. Okay, बहुत सारे I have written all the professions. Why does a doctor need a well established doctor? Why will he need graphic designing? If he were a doctor, he needs something like he needs some stationery material uh,
there is
like
something
his
like
diary.
that prescription thing.
Yeah, on
They
which
write on that.
they write their prescription on. That is known as a
Letterhead.
letterhead. Yes, letterhead.
Letterhead. Yeah.
Okay, letterheads. Sorry, letterheads are a part of graphic designing. Designing letterheads is a part of communication design. For example, you want your brand name to be put on the design on the letterhead on which you are writing a prescription. That is where a doctor writes upon, and that is why a doctor needs a graphic designer. Number one, he needs a big pamphlet or a big board design to be put in place of his just above his clinic or just above his uh, hospital or clinic, whatever it is. He needs a graphic design to assemble everything and to assemble every data. Why does an astronaut need a graphic designer? What is his need? An astronaut might be needing because he need to tell people that I'm an astronaut and I'll be going to Mars or to XYZ planet and I'm the first one from India. Just hypothetical situation. See, these all professions somewhere in life they need graphic designing or designing as a whole uh, as their utility. They need everything to be assembled and to be able so that they'll be able to present to their customers and to their audiences. A
Yeah,
lawyer needs
like all these professions that you are mentioning, like most of them actually, no, not actually, not even most of them, all of them need marketing, and
true that,
marketing's backbone is graphics. Like
bilkul, true
the
that,
event, amazingly, the event that we are attending right now,
Mhm.
it won't have been like possible just if we are sharing the text that you need to attend or register. Graphics made it look literally good. So yeah,
True that,
so each and every profession that we are having right now has somewhere in the life. Like for example, I guess if I'm not wrong, all these all these if we even if we are talking about astronaut, he might be needing a business card
true
hypothetically.
that. True that.
That is a graphic.
And Shamana said that's why. What did she say? That's why there is in need of need to diverse technical skills, especially
Hmm.
graphic design in various fields. I absolutely agree with you, Charmaine, and I really agree to this point to 10%, 100%, because the need of graphic designing is very much in today's world, especially after lockdown. See, it is my personal experience. I have been working with brands who are not who are lacking an online presence. And when the lockdown hit, they lost many of their customers because they were not linked to them via the social media platforms or the other online ways. And to be on the online platforms, you need how to market yourself, number one, and you need to market. You need what to market. You're getting me? I hope everyone must be getting me. For the what part, we need designs, and there is where graphic designers are needed. They need to put up content. They basically are content creators. We create content, and marketers place their content into the correct place so that more and more people can see that particular piece of information.
Yeah, that's exactly the thing that I had in mind. And to be honest, there is a even the things that we have discussed are not limited to any boundaries. They are endless things. You just need to start researching. If you're an enthusiast about this field, you need to start researching. And additionally, I would like to mention that, before ending the session and going on to thanks and votes, all the people that who are right now, in the session, will be receiving the who registered through the Google form will be receiving their attendees kit later on, like by tomorrow maybe. And all the details that we mentioned about the poster making, and Mr. Chirag will be giving their the slides and all. The attendees kit will be having all that. So feel free to share your posters and design by Sunday, and you'll be getting your certificate based on that. So yeah, and if by chance anyone by tomorrow does not receive any attendee kit, they are free to contact us via Instagram page, and or you can contact me. You might be having my number on the poster, or if you are receiving it on WhatsApp. So yeah, feel free to just contact us. We'll be sending you the attendee kit. Okay, I guess that's it. And that's it for the session. It was even if I don't say that it was a wonderful session, the replies and the attendees, they will just scream out, man, it was exciting. So yeah, it was worth attending. It was resourceful, and I'm literally happy that I'm hosting it. So, and I guess Enactus Jemtec will be organizing similar seminars throughout the year. So everyone, I request you to stay tuned. And Mr. Chirag, you did a wonderful job.
Thank you so much, Shivam. Thank you
I'm
so
I'm
much.
I'm mentioning this for the third time that we asked you to deliver a session, and you literally presented us with a full course. So kudos, man. Salute.
I'd like
So
to thank everyone, the team and actors who contacted me and who felt that I'm capable enough for being able to conduct such a long and such a beautiful session. Thank you to everyone who has connected us throughout this long. We had a certain, I'll say, we reached the desired target of the number of people who I wanted to attend the session. Even if it was one, I'll still be delivering the session to this long because what I believe in is your level of success does not depend on the size of a crowd. Even if it is one or it is 1 lakh or 1 crore, it does not depend. All you need to do is life is in life. You need to be confident in whatever you are doing. You all guys are free to connect to me via my Instagram page, or I think that is the only way to connect me. Or you can follow me on LinkedIn as well. My Instagram is Logosaylove. You can see the page on your screen. You can follow me right now. And thanks to everyone. Thanks to the team. Thanks to Shivam as well. I really hope you'll have a very fortunate and a very bright future all ahead. And thank you, everyone.
Yeah, so guys, I'll be sharing all the details that you require in the attendees kit. That's all I can say. And also, without forgetting, I would like to mention that our directorate of Enactus Jemtec was not able to attend us through the live session, but he joined us via YouTube. So shout out to Earth. And that's it. That's it for the session. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year. And
Happy New Year.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you again, Shirag.